Hi, I'm Sandy Ames, hypnotherapist. Today we're talking about overcoming overwhelm. You know what falls into that category? Procrastination. You want to know what's really interesting? Procrastination can be said 4 different ways, probably more, but there are 4 words that are kind of exactly the same thing. I'm going to give you the words. And all 4 of these words are a form of, I know you've heard of fight or flight, and you've probably heard fight, flight, freeze. Freeze is when we are so overwhelmed that we go into hiding or we go into playing dead. So how do we get stuff done? Well, let's define what not getting stuff done is. Procrastination, overwhelmed by the stuff you have to do, even if it's only one thing. So let's look at what freeze is, because freeze is the fight, it's anxiety, but like on crack. It's when it's gone way too far. Freeze, stuck. You ever say, I feel stuck? You're not stuck. All that anxiety is building inside of you. It's very uncomfortable. You're not calm. There's a lot going on, but then there's no movement. It's like trains going in 2 directions at the same time. It's not a train standing still. No wonder it's uncomfortable and no wonder it's exhausting. In fact, exhaustion is one thing. It's resistance, which creates tension. So you're not getting stuff done, yet you're exhausted. Yeah, true. It's not your fault. So forms of freeze: obesity, alcoholism, overthinking, analysis paralysis, depression, hiding, playing dead. These 4 words are all a form of freeze. They're also all the same as each other and something else. These are the 4 words. One is procrastination. It's a form of freeze. I'm stuck. I'm stuck here. My laundry pile's over there. I can't get to it. Well, you can, but you can't. So it's true. The second of the 4 words is avoidance. It's pretty clear to see how avoidance is procrastination. Procrastination is avoidance. Okay. The third of the 4 words is perfectionism. Can you tell me, because you're smart, can you tell me why perfectionism is actually avoidance? You probably figured it out. Because, oh, well, if I can't get it right, then I can't do it. And therefore you don't get it done because it's never going to be right. And so, I'll have kids one day when I can afford it. Good luck. I'll put myself out there when I just lose a little more weight. And then so it doesn't get done. Perfectionism is avoidance. You have these self-help gurus all over the internet saying, just put it out there. Just get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Right. These are people who are getting stuff done. And you can look at their work and see the flaws in them, and good for them. They're not afraid of you. They're going to just keep going and just putting it out there. And eventually it gets really good. 3 or 4 words: procrastination, which is the same as avoidance, which is the same as perfectionism. And then there's a 4th word, which is frustration. You see easily how frustration comes from perfectionism. And so then we get in this loop of freeze, being stuck. But all 4 of these words, procrastination, avoidance, perfectionism, frustration, all 4 of these words, yes, they're a form of freeze, but they're also something else. They're also the same as each other. You may only relate to one of them. It's kind of all the same anyway. Here it is. Procrastination and all the related words, avoidance, perfectionism, frustration, are all this: a shield against criticism and judgment. A shield against criticism and judgment. Well, I'd really like to write that thing, but if I put myself out there, I could get some negative comments. You could hurt me if I expose myself. Therefore, I'll just hide or have writer's block or make excuses. That's not invalid. You have proof that when you've put yourself out there, you can get hurt. But it's all a story. And it all comes from belief systems. And we're going to go in and shift those belief systems. Now, of course, we can do that through hypnosis. You can also do it through repetition. So I'm going to share a video that I have as part of my training series. This falls into the category of procrastination and anxiety and success and maximizing beyond potential. It's something you can do. This process you're going to learn in this training video is something that I've literally taught to billionaires. I've literally taught it to people who are business entrepreneurs. And I've also used this with people who are stay-at-home moms and everyone in between. I know you've done things like this, but you haven't done this way. This is massively life changing. I'm going to roll the video. At the end of the video, I'll come back in and we'll discuss. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Sandy Ames, hypnotherapist. So many people come to me for procrastination and wanting to get things done, but there's too much and it's overwhelmed. So it may not be defined as procrastination. It's pretty much just overwhelm. I have a formula that I love to share with my clients because everyone has done a to-do list and everybody's done a brain dump list and everybody's done the thing where they write down all their goals. And at the end of it, then they just feel overwhelmed again. Sometimes it works and that's great. If it works for you, keep it. I'm going to give you a version of a to-do list that I know for sure you've never done before, but you're going to do it today. And as I give you these instructions, I'm also going to share a story as we go because I'm a hypnotist and stories teach. First, I want you to take a piece of paper and make 2 lines down the paper so that now creates 3 columns. The top left first column is called brain dump. And then the middle column, you're going to write me, M-E, me. And the column on the right is the big letter U, and it stands for universe. If I lost you at universe, then you're going to be just like the client I'm about to tell you about. Stay with me for a second. This woman came to me, and she happens to come from a place where there tend to be more people who have very strong and rigid beliefs about religion and about how the world is supposed to be. And hypnotherapy doesn't necessarily fit into that mindset. And so when she first reached out, she said, my friends and my family don't know I'm doing this at all. And I kind of think this is weird too, but nothing else has worked. So what the heck? I saw your video online, so I figured I'd book a session. Okay. So then we had worked together for about 3 weeks at that point, and she was so happy with the results for what she came for that by the time we got to this, she said, the only reason I'm doing this thing that has the word universe in it, which is weird, it's not God, it's different. The only reason I'm doing this, she said, is because we've had so much success. I actually trust you, but this is uncomfortable and different for me. I said, that's fine. It's just the letter U. So let it mean whatever you want. Okay, fine. So now we get to brain dump. And that's what I want you to do right now. Just get out of your head everything that you need to do. This thing I got to do for work, this thing I got to do for my kids. I need to buy more razors. I got to return that Amazon package and all the things, brain dump. So you'll take your time later and finish the list, but you can write them down as we're talking. So she did this exercise and she had 20 things on her brain dump list. One of them was to call Martha because she called Martha, but it was the wrong number. And the person who gave her the number hasn't gotten back. Okay. So call Martha. And she needed to get a caterer and buy diapers. And she needed a cable guy because they needed a new company. And it's a pain where she lives to get the right. Okay. And on, baby formula. So I said, okay, out of those 20 things, it's not an exact number, but I wanted to take about 15 or 17 of those, most of those, and put them on the universe list. Now, it does mean that the universe is kind of going to get it done for you, but I'll define that further later. It's a fun game to play. So most of it's going to go in the universe list. And I don't want you to draw arrows. I want you to rewrite because, of course, we're actually just working with the subconscious mind. So the writing, the crossing it out and writing it again, it all starts to have an effect on the subconscious mind. So even if you just wanted to change the word universe in your mind to subconscious mind, that works too. Who cares? It works. Just do it. So now the only stuff that's going in the me list is the stuff you are going to do today, actually. So in my brain dump, somehow I've always got the word taxes. I'm going to move the word taxes over to the universe list because today I'm not going to work on my taxes. Only put the stuff that you're actually going to do today. Here's the promise I need you to make right now. Every single me list, which is every today list, must include something for self-care. So for this client, it was to do a YouTube yoga class. Prioritize self-care for many reasons and just trust this process because it's not an aside from the things you need to do. It's going to be what gets things done miraculously and you're enjoying yourself while it's getting done. Okay. Don't make yourself go to a HIIT class if you really don't want to. Choose something you enjoy. So you have your me list. Now I want, and by the way, tomorrow you can take some stuff from the universe list and put it on the me list, but you probably figured that out. Okay. Now put it in the order that you're going to do it. And you can pause the video, whatever. Now let's look at how much time each thing is going to take. So if doing the dishes you think is going to take 15 minutes, give it a half hour, because with everything, I want an abundance of time. We're training your subconscious mind for abundance. And when we train for abundance in any area of life, we're training for abundance in all areas of life, which means you're going to make more money. I know, I'm telling your fortune. Just go with me. So put down how much time it's going to take and then add a little time. Put 5, 10, 15 minutes in between things. Again, abundance of time. And now write in the actual time that each event is going to start. At this point with the client I was working with, she said, I still don't believe that the universe is going to get anything done for me, but she said, but I really feel so much better that I wrote down everything I'm going to get done. She said, I never work less than 10 hours in a day. And everything I did came to 6 hours. And that includes all that time in between. And that includes a YouTube yoga class. She said, wow, just the brain dump and the putting the times just really took a load off, and it feels really good. So even if the universe is not miraculously going to do stuff for me, I like this process. I said, but wait, you have Call Martha on the universe list and the caterer. I said, for all we know, Martha could call you, or maybe your husband will come home from work early and say, oh, hey, babe, I came home early. By the way, I got us a caterer. Maybe you'll walk outside your front door and your neighbor has the cable van out in front. And so you talk to the cable guy, he's right there. So this is how the universe sort of just, nobody's going to do your taxes for you. You may have an accountant, but you still got to gather the stuff. You know what I mean? So there are things that if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. But just let the magic happen, because somehow it just flows. So I said, now, before we go, I want you to put one more thing on the universe list, and that is email Sandy. And she said, really, I just told you that I'm overwhelmed and you just added a thing to do. I said, listen, you're done with your sessions with me and we've had such great success, but I know you're going to shut this computer after the Zoom call and we're never going to see each other again. So just for fun, you don't have to do it. It's on the universe list. Just write email Sandy. She said, okay, I'll play the game. And she writes down. All right. So our Zoom call ends. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Have a very nice life. Goodbye. That particular day, I worked for about another 5 hours. And so at the end of the day, I checked my email to see if there's anything I need to do before tomorrow. And I saw that about 20 minutes after we had ended our session, she sent me 3 emails in a row. And the first one just had one capital letter O, and the second email M, and the third one G. And then it said, I don't know if this is some kind of black magic or some kind of voodoo that you do, but this is crazy. She said, I literally was shutting my computer. My phone rang. It was Martha. I'm on the phone with Martha. This is a true story. This is a true story. She said, I'm not making this up. I'm on the phone with Martha. My husband walks in the door. Hey, babe, I left work early. By the way, I got us a caterer. She said, I almost fell out of my chair. And in the thing, she says, I haven't walked outside to see if there's a cable guy there, but I'm a little afraid. Now, this story is true. And it's an extreme, amazing example of how this universe thing works. Things just get done. And I've got 10 more stories I could share about what some other clients have experienced and that I've personally experienced. But something like this will occur for you. Please reach out to me and let me know, because I love to hear these stories. And look, even if the universe did nothing, then you can just take some stuff off of the universe list and put it on the me list the next day. And that's good enough. But this really is magic and it really does work. So go have fun with it. It's called the Me and You list. You may be saying to yourself, oh, well, that process is easy and I've done things like it before. Well, if your life is exactly as you want it right now, then cool. But if you are ready to make changes and you want to overcome overwhelm or procrastination or anything related, what happens if you actually do it? Because let's be honest, we all know that we could use a little less sugar in our lives. So why do we eat it when all we have to do is not eat it, right? And so it's one thing to know something. It's another to really implement it into your life. So make your 3 columns. Do your me and you list. Make it your own. You can't get it wrong. Subconsciously, a whole lot happens when you actually handwrite it. You actually cross out the thing and actually rewrite it somewhere else. It's already getting infused into your mind, which is going to give you new impulses. I cannot tell you how many hundreds and hundreds of clients say, I swear to God, Sandy, I know all the rules of getting stuff done. I understand executive function formulas and writing down plans. I know all those things, but somehow through this work, now when I have an impulse to do something, I actually do it. It's the weirdest thing. My wife doesn't recognize me anymore. Trust yourself in this process and do the process. If you feel like you've gotten everything you need from this podcast episode, then you're right. You've got it. Go on. Be your bad self. Great. If you're interested in hearing just one more story about how this Me and You list has come to life, I'll share this. It was September 1st, 2021. If you lived anywhere in the New York area, you remember we were flooded. It was a big storm. The night before, my movers were set up, and I was going to leave my old office and go to my new office for the morning of the 1st. 9 p.m., I get an email. You can't move in, says the management of the new office. You can't move in. You don't have the proper insurance. This email just pops up. So we're sort of emailing in real time. So I emailed back and I said, what are you talking about? Yes, I do. And you approved my insurance and my movers are coming. Everything's signed. I'm moving in tomorrow. I got to move out of my old place and I'm moving in. We do have your insurance, but we want more. So this is the first I'm hearing of this. We signed the contracts. Too bad. I said, well, look, I'm looking at the contract and it says that I must show proof of insurance within 14 days of moving in. So even though you accepted my insurance, it's fine. I'll get whatever you want. No problem. No problem. But I have 14 days to get it. And your lawyers put that in the contract. And they said, yeah, but still, no, you can't move in without it. I said, you know what? Okay. I don't want to start with any trouble. Okay. So I made a Me and You list because I was overwhelmed. Again, it wasn't too many things, but it was too big of a one thing. It's 9:15 now, p.m. How am I supposed to get an insurance policy by 9 a.m.? And I said, okay, what can I do? And then what's beyond what I can do? I can make 2 phone calls. I thought of 2 people I could call. Okay, that's what I can do. The rest of it I can't do. I put that in the universe list. What I can do is this, and then I'm going to let it go. Nobody answers their phone. I left 2 messages at 9:20 p.m. Hey, can you help me out? Thanks. Well, I woke up. It was about 7 a.m. I'm telling you, doing this allowed me to sleep better because I did what I could. And I left the rest up to the universe, or use a different word. Left it up to not me. Woke up at 7 a.m. At 7 a.m., I had a new problem. There were 2 fully written insurance policies in my email at 7 a.m. So my problem was I had to say thanks, but no thanks to one of them who either did it at 10 p.m. or 6 a.m. for me to help me. 2 came through and I had to say no thanks to one. So that was my new problem. I was happy to have it. Is it some kind of universe magic that I got an insurance policy written pretty quickly? Who cares? What it did was it allowed me to sleep. I felt empowered knowing I could do what I could, and I let go of what just wasn't up to me. Got really clear on that. I didn't make it my job to feel negative emotions where I didn't have any control. Call it magic or call it efficient. Okay. So the movers came in the morning. By the afternoon, much of New York City was under a lot of water, flooded. My old office where we moved out that morning happened to be on the bottom floor of a building. It got completely flooded. Everything I owned in that office would have been underwater if I didn't move that day. Magic, coincidence, luck, who cares? I was at ease and I was at peace. And if you can use this formula, writing it down really is powerful, especially when you have a lot of stuff. Definitely write it down when you have a lot of stuff. I had one thing and it was big. What's that saying? If you don't believe you can do great things, do small things in a great way. Find your way with this. Make it your homework. Blame me. Get it to become a habit, and then that habit will show up when you need it. Just get started. Make your 3 columns. Go. Go be great. And then come back and tell me all about it. Good job. You got this.